Welcome to the latest episode of the Living in Naples channel. I'm James Headley, and I hope that you will continue to tune into the channel. If you like what you see, subscribe, and please do share it with your friends. In today's episode, we're going to go on a walking tour and get a taste for some of the communities in Lely Resort. Laylee is one of the largest communities in all of Southwest Florida, with nearly 5,000 residences within the resort, ranging everywhere from small condos to sprawling estate homes in price range currently in early November of 2021 at the time of this recording. Price range from the high 200,000s up to nearly $4 million. So a bit of something for everyone in Lely Resort. And I hope that this video gives you a bit of a taste for some of the communities and some of the options that are available there. I'd love to work with you to help you to identify the right fit for you, whether that's in Lely Resort or elsewhere here in Southwest Florida. So please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me anytime. I'd love to work with you, as I have with so many other out-of-town buyers as well as sellers. And so without further ado, I'm going to dive into our walking tour of Laylee. But let me urge you to hang in until the end, when I will reveal the 4 factors that you should absolutely consider before you consider buying a home in the most popular community within Lely Resort. So I'll see you at the end for that. And now let's get off and walking. Today's episode, I'm going to give you a walking tour of Lely Resort, which is one of the larger communities here in Naples, and certainly in East or South Naples. You can see the sign directly behind me for Lely Resort. I'm at the entrance off of 41, or Tamiami Trail, or the Trail, as some of the more local or more seasoned vets will call it. And I'm going to just tour a few of the neighborhoods and give you a sense of the kinds of communities you might expect here, and some ballpark price ranges here as I record in early November of 2021. Obviously, those are subject to change almost daily. So with that, let me move on to the next neighborhood. Heading up Lely Resort Boulevard, which is one of the 2 main drives within Lely Resort, along with Grand Laylee Drive, we see the famous horse sculptures, which are a landmark from US 41. And there is another set of these actually over on the entrance to Laylee off of State Route 951 Collier Boulevard. In addition, you can see some of the majestic palm trees that line many of the streets here, and then across to one of the many lakes in the community. A bit of a fact for you here: only one of the lakes within Lely Resort is not man-made. The others are the result of the excavation of fill in order to level out home sites, as well as to raise them above the above sea level significantly. That brings us to our first community that we see as we enter off of US 41, which is Sunstone at Lely Resort. This is actually one of the first communities that was built within Lely Resort. It's a series of multiple buildings in a couple of different subdivisions, all 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos. Some of them remain almost near original. Others have had some significant updating to them, so you get quite a range of options within this community. There is a community pool. We can see just the top of the bathroom facilities and bathhouse there at the pool through the trees here. In addition to that, members here have an option to join the Players Club and Spa at Laylee, but they're not required to do so. So in this community, we see some of the lowest taxes and fees in the resort. Heading just a bit farther up Lely Resort Boulevard and across the street from Sunstone and a bit east as well, we come to Mystic Greens. Mystic Greens is a representative community of the coach homes that we will find here in Lely Resort. A range of 2+ den as well as 3-bedroom, primarily coach homes in this gated community, as you can see. There is a small community pool here for residents, and of course the Players Club is an option for the residents here as well, although not required for all residents. Crossing back over Lely Resort Boulevard, we come to our first set of villas within Lely Resort, attached villas. For northerners, you might know these or think of these as duplexes. with some shared walls, shared roofs, but otherwise live very much like single-family homes. The Mustang Villas is a dead-end cul-de-sac with its own community pool, and you're going to find within Laylee that many, if not most, of the coach home and condo complexes or neighborhood subdivision, however you want to think about those, will come with their own community pool, and in many cases they will have a requirement that you do join the Players Club. Others, such as Mustang Villas, do not require that you join the Players Club, so definitely local knowledge is key, and you'll want to factor that into your budget, because the Players Club and Spa has a $7,500 initiation fee, which is refundable to you should you or when you do choose to sell. And also each year the annual subscription fee or administrative fee for the club at Players Club and Spa is now just about up to $4,500 for next year, or somewhere in that ballpark. So not an insignificant cost. Continuing up Lely Resort Boulevard, we come to the gates to Mustang Island, Champions, and Majors. These are three distinct communities, all located behind this gatehouse. Mustang Island is a community of typically 3 and 4 bedroom single family homes. Champions is a series of coach homes, and the Majors are some of the larger estate homes that we find here in Laylee. So we're going to head into this neighborhood and give you a sense of the range that we see throughout Laylee, and in this case, a range that we might see within the same gate in adjacent communities. Here we are on Mustang Island Circle, which is the primary street within Mustang Island. There are a couple of cul-de-sacs off of it. We get a taste for the community, the style of homes here, the landscaping, nice leafy trees, in addition to our ubiquitous palm trees here in Florida. Again, primarily 3 and 4 bedroom homes here in the community, many with lake views and or golf course views, if not both. Many of the homes here within Mustang Island are also pool homes, some also with spa/hot tub in your backyard. So lots of reasons to stay home and enjoy, but also lots of good places around to go out and enjoy the surroundings. A bit farther along Mustang Island Circle, we come to the Champions. Again, this is a community of coach homes behind a second gate. It's one of the 2 double-gated communities here in Lely Resort, along with the Majors, which we'll see in just a second. But a bit unique to have a coach home community with 2 gates. Get a sense of the community pool here. And let me flip the camera around, and from the pool, a bit of a panorama here of the neighborhood and what you can expect. I didn't mention earlier in the context of Mystic Greens, coach homes here, essentially maybe think of these as duplexes up north. That's what I would have thought of them as, 2 up, 2 down. Often the units upstairs in the coach homes within Lely Resort are a little larger in terms of their square footage and footprint than the lower units. But often the lower units make up for that by having 2-car garages, while the upper units are single-car garages. Here in the Champions, actually, that's not the case. Both the upper and lower have 2-car garages, and the square footage in these coach homes is quite a bit larger than most of the coach home communities within Lely Resort. And you tend to pay a little bit more for that as well. In addition, some wonderful, wonderful golf course views. Step out here, and apologies for a bit of the shake and shadow this morning. It's another lovely day here in Lely Resort and in Naples, Florida. As I record this the first week in November, it's expected to get to 86 today as a high. I woke up this morning and around 6:30 it was in the mid-60s, so just some really perfect weather. It's actually going to be a little bit hotter than it's been the last few days here. We had been just in the low 80s, again with those low to mid-60s morning temperatures. So just pretty perfect when starting to see some of the national news with the first snows of the year over the past weeks. So this is a great reason to live here in Naples, Florida. Coming into the backyards here of the coach homes, and I'll give you a look at the back of those as well, but I wanted to give you a sense of some of the views that you can expect here in Laylee. With 3 golf courses, you get a lot of lake and golf course views, some very wide views depending upon the communities you're in. As you can see here, just a pretty spectacular vista. And then we'll come around and give you a sense of the sides and the backs for the coach homes. Not a whole lot to say there, except that we do have these screens, small screens, porches, lanais on the coach homes. So an opportunity to sit out back, enjoy a cocktail, your morning coffee, whatever your preference might be. That brings us to the majors, and as we approach the majors, these homes on the left are actually part of it. And this is one of the prettier par 3s on any of the 3 Laylee golf courses. This is the 16th hole on the Mustang golf course, which was designed by Lee Trevino. We'll continue down the sidewalk to the entrance gate to the majors. Again, this is one of the 2 double-gated communities here within Lely Resort. Not to give you the wrong impression, as I've shared elsewhere on this channel, crime is not a very significant concern here, but it is nice to have peace of mind for some to have the gate, or in this case, 2 gates. Again, the majors is the first of the true estate home neighborhoods here in Lely Resort. So you're going to see the prices are definitely in 7 figures now, pretty much across the board here. Wide range of styles. There were a number of builders over the time that the homes in here were being built, although predominantly built by Stock Builders, which was the primary developer of Lely Resort. Homes in here can be as many as 5 bedrooms. They are primarily pool homes. Some are courtyard homes with the pool on the interior courtyard. Others are, and for the most part, the majority, are traditional walk-in, walk through the home, lanai and pool on the back, typically with a screened-in lanai. Now you can see that we're getting into slightly bigger homes, if not significantly bigger in some cases, than we saw in Mustang Island. As we've come back out onto Lely Resort Boulevard, we're looking here across the first hole of the Flamingo Golf Course, which is a Robert Trent Jones design, over to the driving range and the clubhouse and Sam Snead's Grill in the distance. This bridge, which has an underpass, which goes across the street to the Mustang Golf Course, which we saw the 16th hole of just a few moments ago. Just a word as we walk up a bit farther here about golf here within Lely Resort. So these 2 courses, the Mustang and the Flamingo, are both semi-public courses. There is public access to them every day of the week that they're open. And members, the semi comes in because members of the Classics Country Club, which we will come up to in just a bit, also have playing privileges here at their reduced member rates and with some additional tee time benefits in terms of when they can make those tee times and how many are reserved for members. But the public can play here. And the other thing to note is that this is not a bundled golf community. So if you're purchasing any home within Lely Resort, you do not have to join the Classics Golf Course, Classics Country Club. And in fact, you don't have an automatic ability to do so. So that is those are the items of note for golfers here. They are some very nice courses, some amazing views, whether you're a golfer or not, and also some curbs on any overdevelopment within the community beyond what's already here. Adjacent to the clubhouse for the Mustang and the Flamingo, and again, Sam Snead's, where you will get some of the best ribs that you'll find anywhere, we have the Green Links Complex. The Green Links is a condo complex, which is fairly unique here, or actually very unique for Lely Resort, in that if you are an owner here, you can actually rent your condo on a nightly basis. In most cases, communities within Laylee limit you to 30-day minimums, so not a great place if you're looking for an Airbnb. or something of the like. But the rentals here, on the good news side of that, is that you can typically rent condos, homes, villas here for 30 to 90 days, even up to 120 days, as many people like to come for the entire season. So there are no dearth of opportunities for you to get into the rental business. But Green Links, again, is available on a nightly basis, and if you choose, you can put your unit into the rental pool and have it set up. It's essentially like a condotel with registration just ahead here, past one of the wonderful maintenance workers that are included in your HOA dues in virtually every community here within Lely Resort. But again, Green Links, 2 and 3 bedroom condos, very nice setup here, and you can have all the hassle of rentals taken away from you by enrolling into the rental program, should you wish to do so. And here we are behind the 18th green of the Classics Country Club course. As I mentioned before, this is the private course for the area, so you can get a nice vista. That's the clubhouse there over my shoulder. I'll flip the camera around and give you a sweeping view here. Lake and clubhouse. This course was host for a couple of years in a row, just as recently as a couple of years ago, to the Champions Tour, Senior PGA Tour's Chubb Classic, which has now moved up to Tiburon in North Naples, a community that I'm happy to talk to you about as well. But just a great golf course and a very nice club, very casual and friendly membership, and an excellent membership director there that I'd be happy to put you into touch with, as well as talking more about the homes here in the community. I should also apologize for my attire today, but it is the walking tour. I'll probably put in about 10 miles here, venturing around Lely Resort and giving you a taste for some of the neighborhoods and some of what you might expect here. So I hope you'll be able to deal with the t-shirt and the sweaty head today, and look forward to connecting with you in person and looking a little better when I do so. Here we are across the street from the Classics Country Club at the Signature Club, which is a community of coach homes, again quads, which was one of the 2 newest communities that was built in Lely Resort. Laylee is now, aside from a handful of single-family home lots that have not been sold by their current owners, often the neighbor who has wanted a little extra privacy, Laylee is completely built out, so you're looking at resale homes exclusively in this community. The Signature Club is one of the draws of the Signature Club, in addition to being very new and very large. In fact, 2,800-ish square feet for the large coach homes in this community. The other draw is that it is right next door to the Players Club and Spa. In fact, there is a private gate, and if you listen closely, perhaps in the background, you might hear the noise of the tennis courts and the pickleball courts, which are just behind this hedge, and this private gate, which is exclusive to owners of the Signature Club, as well as renters, of course. We'll just give you a little taste for some of the 20-plus tennis and pickleball courts here at the Players Club and Spa. That brings us to the last neighborhood that we'll take a closer look at today in Lely Resort, and that is Olay at Lely Resort. I'm here walking up the Rialto Street, which is the signature street here within Olay. Number of different floor plans ranging from first floor living to more of a townhouse style to standalone casitas and semi-standalone casitas here in Olay. So you can get anything from just over 1,100 square feet up to a bit over 2,000 square feet in those standalone casitas, which are technically 3-bedroom, but really 4-bedroom with a loft, which is often turned into that 4th bedroom. So as I walk up Rialto Street here and past these fountains, we approach the village center at the end of this walk, which is the hub of social life here within Olay. It's a little bit of a mini Players Club, if you will. All residents of Olay are automatically members here of the Village Center, able to use those facilities. And should you decide to have guests or rent out your unit, which you can do 12 times a year for a minimum of 30 days, so essentially as many monthly rentals or as long as you would like, annual rentals and beyond, you are able to do that. But your guests and your renters will be able to use the facilities here at Olay, just as if they were owners of a condo here. This is all condo ownership. Your annual fees tend to run somewhere in the $11,000 to $13,000 range, depending upon the unit that you're in. And as I shared at the beginning of this video, I'm going to share with you, this is the most popular in terms of activity neighborhood within Laylee. It's also the largest, so by extension, it makes sense that there would be the most activity. But I will share with you just at the end of this, the 4 really key factors that you need to keep in mind if you're going to purchase an Olay, as far as valuing your home and getting the most out of your home, depending upon what is most important to you. So in the Village Center itself, and apologies for the pressure washing of the streets, they do keep this area immaculately clean. You have your movie theater, which has movies 2 nights a week, free to residents. Your resident services or administrative offices. The gym, just beyond that. It's your entrance to the pool and the volleyball courts, etc. And there is poolside service just about every day in season and a little more sporadically in the off season. The bistro, the ice cream shop, which has been closed for a little while. Perhaps we'll see that reopen after COVID. Coffee shop, and then the Olay pub on the corner there. So a very charming community, Spanish style, Mexican style architecture, lots of floor plans to choose from, so potentially something for everyone here. As I walk down one of the quietest streets, and my favorite street, frankly, in Olay, Chula Vista, I want to come back to that little teaser from the beginning and tell you those 4 factors that you should absolutely weigh when considering purchasing in Olay. The first of those is the size of the particular unit, as well as the floor plan. So get the right mix for you, whether that's a combination of a single story or more of a townhouse feel. If you need just 1,200 square feet for a quick weekend getaway versus perhaps living here full time with a family or frequent guests, and you might want to go step up to the casita or one of the larger townhomes in the 1,700 and 1,800 square foot range, that's definitely a factor to consider. The second factor to consider, which is unique to Olay, is whether you're located on a quad. So the quads, there are 5 of these within Olay. And the idea behind the quad is that in the center, at the back of each of the townhomes in Olay, that's where your garage is. It is an attached garage in all units. The garages surround, for a number of the units in Olay, will surround a common outdoor courtyard with a pool, some seating facilities, some barbecue facilities, in one or more cases, a little area for bocce. So there's a great opportunity there for socializing with your neighbors, and a lot of permanent residents as well as renters will prioritize being on a quad to have that additional pool area on top of what you get in the Village Center, which is never too far away in Olay. Number 3 is your proximity to the Village Center. So certainly in Olay, it's rather large with nearly 800 homes. You're always relatively close, but the difference between being able to grab a couple of lounge chairs or your cooler, your towels, etc. for a day at the pool, or just walking over to the gym and back if there's a chance of rain versus having to get in a car and drive over. The factor of how close are you actually to the Village Center is something that you might want to keep in mind and prioritize depending upon, again, your planned lifestyle. And then lastly is another proximity or location factor, and that is how close is the home to 951 or Collier Boulevard. 951 Collier Boulevard, as I said at the outset of the videos when I entered on 41 and 951 are going to be the most heavily trafficked streets around Lely Resort. We're situated at the corner of the 2 of them. And so the traffic noise from 951, if you're very close to it here in Olay, you're going to notice it. Outside primarily, the occasional dump truck, construction truck, or motorcycle you might hear inside the house. But generally it's going to be a function of when you're outside on your little seating area, lanai, whatever the case may be, that's going to be a concern. The closer you get to 951, the louder it is. There is a very nice privacy wall, a high privacy wall, as well as landscaping that does tamp down the noise a fair amount. But all things considered, and comparing apples to apples, if you can be here on Chula Vista, which is the street that's farthest away from 951, versus being on one of the homes that faces 951 and is just yards from the privacy wall, I think you're going to want to choose Chula Vista. Again, all things considered and weighing the relative value, price, etc. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope this was helpful to you to get a bit of a taste of Lely Resort. Again, I'd love to work with you directly and help you to find the right community here for you or elsewhere, of course, in Naples or Marco Island. If you like what you saw, please do take the time to subscribe and share with your friends and family, because I'd love to work with them as well. And with that, until next time, thanks again for tuning in.